A college medical student walks into a bar and vanishes into thin air. No cameras catch him leaving. No friends remember his last steps. What really happened to Brian Shaffer? Watch how a young man in the prime of his life walked down a crowded street and then disappeared without a trace.
Imagine this: a crowded bar in the United States. Loud music, people laughing, dozens of strangers packed into one place. Security cameras are watching the entrance. A young man walks inside. He looks calm, normal, alive. This moment is recorded, and this is the last time anyone can prove he was ever seen. His name was Brian Shaffer. Brian was not famous, but his disappearance became one of the most disturbing mysteries in American history. He was a medical student in Ohio, smart, friendly, ambitious. People around him believed he had a bright future, but behind that future, Brian was carrying pain. Just weeks before that night, his mother died after a long fight with cancer. Brian was deeply affected, emotionally drained, trying to escape his thoughts even if just for one night. That night he went out with friends. No plans, no warning signs, just a normal night out. They chose a popular bar full of students and music. Nothing about that night suggested it would end in a mystery. Brian walked into the bar, cameras saw him enter, and then he vanished.
Inside the bar, everything felt normal. Brian was seen laughing, talking, moving freely through the crowd. At one point, he separated from his friends. Not in a strange way, not in anger, just casually. He was later seen near the entrance, talking to two women. Witnesses said he looked relaxed, comfortable. There was no sign of fear or conflict. Minutes passed. His friends expected him to return. He didn't. At first, no one was worried. Crowded bars are chaotic. People step outside, people leave with others. But Brian never came back. His friends waited outside. They watched the entrance. They checked the street. Brian did not appear. They tried calling him. His phone rang. No answer. Time kept moving. The bar slowly emptied. Still no Brian. Security cameras continued recording. They showed people entering, people leaving, but Brian Shaffer never appeared again. Not once. As the night ended, confusion turned into concern. By morning, concern turned into fear. Brian Shaffer was officially missing. When police began investigating, they focused on one thing first: the bar, the building, the exits. The Ugly Tuna Saloona was located on the second floor of a busy complex. To enter or leave, customers had to use a single main escalator. There were cameras pointed at that area. This detail changed everything. Investigators reviewed hours of footage. They watched every face, every movement. Brian Shaffer was clearly seen entering the bar, but no matter how many times they replayed the footage, they could not find a single moment of him leaving. There were no hidden exits, no back doors open to the public, no secret stairways. If Brian had walked out, the cameras should have seen him, but they didn't. Police questioned staff, bartenders, security guards. No one remembered seeing Brian leave. No one recalled a fight, no screams, no disturbance. It was as if Brian simply stopped existing inside that building. Search teams checked nearby streets, construction sites, alleyways, rooftops. Nothing. No trace of him. The question became terrifyingly simple. How does a man disappear from a crowded bar without anyone noticing? Brian's friends tried everything. They called his phone again and again. It rang. No answer. Days passed. Still nothing. His bank accounts showed no activity. His social media accounts went silent. It was as if he had vanished from the world entirely. Police investigated every possible lead. Neighbors were questioned. CCTV from surrounding areas was reviewed. Nothing showed where he could have gone. Some speculated he had left voluntarily. Others feared the worst, that something terrible had happened inside the bar. Theories began to multiply. Could he have wandered into a hidden stairwell? Could someone have taken him without anyone noticing? Or did something even stranger occur? Something that no one could have imagined. Family and friends were left with endless questions, sleepless nights, impossible what-ifs. Brian's disappearance became more than a missing person case. It became a chilling mystery that haunted everyone who knew him. And for the public, the story spread across news outlets, internet forums, and later, YouTube channels. People were captivated by the fact that a man could walk into a crowded bar and simply disappear without a trace. Over the years, countless theories have emerged. Some believe Brian left voluntarily. A new identity, a fresh start. But there's no evidence to support it. Others think foul play occurred inside the bar. Perhaps someone waited for the perfect moment to strike. But with so many witnesses and cameras, how could it have happened without being noticed? Some theories are darker, almost unthinkable. Maybe Brian stumbled into something terrifying, something no one would ever explain. The fact remains, he entered the bar. He was seen alive, and he never came out. Police continue to call it one of the most baffling disappearances in American history. To this day, Brian Shaffer's fate is unknown. Every year, people revisit the story, analyzing footage, checking every detail, trying to find a clue that was missed. And the mystery remains. A man walked into a bar and vanished forever. What really happened to Brian Shaffer? We may never know.